Friday, March 19th, 2021, Maneko 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. We're going to look at a very interesting topic that I hadn't realized that the data are pointing to below ground gold reserves running out before Bitcoin reserves. Bitcoin reserves or Bitcoin mining is supposed to go on until the year 2140, so another 120 years or so. But gold below ground reserves, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, is going to run out a lot earlier. Yes, there probably will always be some gold around in the oceans, maybe in outer space, like some people talk about, that we could go mining in outer space, but it would be not very economical to try to gather that gold or mine that gold. So that's what we're going to look at today. Before we do that, let's quickly look at the markets this morning. We'll go through the markets first. It's 7:35 a.m. London time. So we've got spot gold up about $7. We're right near the highs, 1743.50. High's been 1745, low 1728. Yes, yesterday, as the U.S. came in and yields continued to rise, gold was sold off down to around 1719, but it's holding really well. Silver right now is up 10 cents, up 0.4% as well, at 26.16. High's been 26.23, low 25.86. The Dow's up 50 points. Nasdaq 100 future up 73. S&P 9. We've got sterling up slightly at 139.44. Euros up 1/8%, 119.29. And the dollar is down 1/8 versus the yen at 108.75. And we're still stuck around that 650 level in the yuan. High grade copper down 1.5% at 404. WTI crude up 0.4% at 60.30. Yes, crude fell quite a bit yesterday. There's data about supply, oil supply. I think it's a buying opportunity, to be honest, in the medium to longer term. And the 10-year yield is dropped overnight. We're back below 170. We're at 169, down about 4 basis points. So now to gold. And the fact that below ground gold reserves could run out basically in about 18 years. And by running out, it's meant to be gold that has been surveyed by the U.S. Geological Survey group, and that is fairly easy or economical to get at. There are about 15,000 metric tons supposedly in the oceans, but it's very hard to mine in the oceans. The cost would be astronomical. There's those who say that we could go to outer space to mine gold from meteorite or meteors or asteroids, whatever. I think people talk about Elon Musk doing that, but can you imagine the cost of mining an ounce in outer space? I mean, it would be astronomical, right? So I bought this book here about 3 years ago, maybe a little less, but it was published in 2018. It was published by the German Bundesbank, the German central bank. It's called Germany's Gold. And I was going through it yesterday, looking actually at how the BIS is involved in the gold market. And I will probably make a video about that as well. But I found something even more interesting, and we'll go to that. And it's on page 71. And I highly recommend this book. I think on Amazon you can get it for just over 20 pounds. And it's got beautiful pictures like this one here, for example. I guess those are the vaults at the Bundesbank. Yeah, the Germans are really into their gold. You can understand why, with what's happened in the last 100 years with their currency, and how gold is important, of course, as a protection versus currency collapse. So on this page, they talk about gold as a reserve asset. So let's go through the part where I found this interesting information, and it says, since humans first started prospecting for and processing gold, roughly 187,200 tons of it have been extracted from the earth. That number has been updated. I think it's now up to 197,000, because you get about 2,000 to 3,000 metric tons extracted every year. So this was 3 years ago. We're just below 200,000 right now. We'll probably be at 200,000 at the end of this year. If one were to melt all of this gold into a single cube, its edges would be around 21.3 meters long. So that's about 65 feet, I would say, maybe a little less. If the German gold held by the Deutsche Bundesbank were similarly melted down into a single cube, its edges would be about 5.6 meters long. So there you go. That would be the German gold there, the little cube within that cube. Nearly half, or 48% of the global stocks of gold have been made into jewelry. Around 18% are being held by central banks or governments, so not that much. Around 21% are used as a form of investment, and approximately 14% are used for other purposes, such as industrial products. However, the remaining global gold deposits are finite. There you go, finite. I always hear from the Bitcoin people, and I'm not here trying to denigrate Bitcoin. I'm just trying to put the facts straight about gold. They always talk about like there's so much gold out there that it will never end, but according to the Bundesbank, it's finite. In its 2016 annual report, the US Geological Survey estimated these to be around 57,000 tons. So that's below ground deposits. That's the finite reserves. The amounts involved seem unimaginably large when one considers that 1 ton of rock contains, on average, only a few grams of gold. According to the World Gold Council, the world's oceans are estimated to hold about 15,000 tons of gold. However, it is questionable whether it will ever be economically viable to extract this gold. So here's the interesting part that I found. If gold continues at the rates seen in the past few years of more than 3,000 tons annually, the underground deposits for which mining is economically viable will have been brought above ground in approximately 20 years time. So this was written 3 years ago, so about 17, 18 years. If the pace of mining continues at 3,000, of course it could decrease, it could increase. So roughly 17, 18 years from now, 20 years from 2018. But gold has not always been mined and produced in such large quantities. At the time of the Roman Empire, it is thought that only small amounts were produced each year. The production volumes are also thought to have been low in the Middle Ages. It was only in the 20th century that the gold boom began. According to the US Geological Survey, an estimated 90% of gold stocks available today were mined after 1900. So there you go. Yes, like I said, it depends, of course, on how much gold is mined in the future. It could be less than 3,000. It could be more. But according to the U.S. Geological Survey and the Bundesbank, they think that there is a finite amount of gold at a viable price, of course. And what about Bitcoin? Well, this is what Wikipedia says about Bitcoin supply, and I've referenced another article as well. I'll go through this first. It says the successful miner finding the new block is allowed by the rest of the network to reward themselves with newly created Bitcoins and transaction fees. As of 11th of May 2020, the reward amounted to 6.25 newly created Bitcoins per block added to the blockchain, plus any transaction fees from payments processed by the block. To mine half of the supply of Bitcoins took 4 years, but the remainder will take another 120 years because of an artificial process called Bitcoin halving, according to which miners are compensated by fewer Bitcoin as time goes on. To claim the reward, a special transaction called Coinbase is included with the processed payments. All Bitcoins in existence have been created in such Coinbase transactions. The Bitcoin protocol specifies that the reward for adding a block will be halved by 210,000 blocks approximately every 4 years. Eventually, the reward will decrease to zero, and the limit of 21 million Bitcoins will be reached circa 2140. The record keeping will then be rewarded solely by transaction fees. So I think right now we're at 18.5 million Bitcoins. So it looks like Bitcoin mining is going to be going on a lot longer than gold mining. Yes, gold mining could keep going, but it would be at a very heavy cost in the next, after 20 years from now. Yes, the U.S. Geological Survey, you can't say it's 100% correct. We could see a huge gold find, but I don't know. It's possible, but all I'm trying to say is that yes, those people who say that there's an infinite amount of gold out there, and that's why Bitcoin is such a better money in terms of its rarity, I don't think they're completely right. And this data from the U.S. Geological Survey proves it. And the other thing as well about Bitcoin, they could very well change the protocol and increase the supply. With gold, we can't just type and increase the supply. Gold is created by nature. So there's another article here about Bitcoin that I recommend you read. That will help you understand a little more about Bitcoin and the mining process. It's called "What Will Happen to Bitcoin After All 21 Million Are Mined?" And it says, if Bitcoin sticks with its current consensus algorithm, miners will need to subsist on just transaction fees as an incentive. So that's what was said there in the Wikipedia. They say here as well, there are 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. Once they're all mined, which should occur in around 2140, no new Bitcoin will enter circulation. So, yeah, who knows? The Bitcoin community, the miners, they could decide to change the protocol, or you could always fork into new Bitcoins, right? So before I finish today, I like to say that I'm going to be on Wall Street Silver. They have a YouTube channel. They're going to be interviewing me today, this afternoon. Check out that channel, Wall Street Silver. I'm not sure if it's going to be a live stream or recorded. I think around 6 p.m. London. So don't forget, right now, we're only 4 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time here in the UK. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great weekend. Take care. Bye.